I can't vlog when people are looking.
Nat, do it with me all the time.
Good morning everyone and welcome to another vlog episode. Today my vlog is a little bit different because I'm going to be sitting down and talking to you for the whole thing. Today I thought I would talk to you guys about body hair. Today I thought I would talk to you guys about body hair and about why I stopped shaving and waxing all of my body hair. So I stopped shaving, waxing and worrying about my body hair when I was about 20 years old. I was almost 21, I think. I'm almost 26 now. Before I tell you guys about what led me to stop waxing my body and shaving my body, I thought that I would tell you guys 3 very personal stories about my childhood and the 3 key stories that I remember as a child and a teenager of what I perceived body hair to be. When I think about body hair, shaving and waxing and all that kind of stuff, these 3 stories are what I remember from my childhood and teenagehood, and they have stuck to me to this day. And when I think about these stories, I just think it's so crazy that, as a child and as a teenager, already so young, that was what my outlook was on hair on the human body. So I'm going to tell you guys those 3 stories, and I'm going to start off with the first one, which was when I was 13 years old. So I have an older sister. She's about 8 years older than me, I think. Yeah, she's about 7 or 8 years older than me. So because I had an older sister, I watched her go through all these different things. And one of the things that I remember as a child, so I was 13 at the time, I remember seeing this like little pink shaver in the shower, and I obviously made the connection that that shaver was my sister's. I made the connection that my sister was shaving her body, and I had some friends at school that were doing it, and I wanted to do it because they were doing it. So I remember going out to Woolworths, to the local supermarket, and buying a razor for myself to shave my legs. I bought this about a week before I went on a school camp, and then I went on the school camp and I came back home, and my mum was unpacking my bag and she found this razor, right? That obviously she had no idea that I was shaving, and at such a young age. She pulled me aside and she wanted to talk to me about this, and she said, why do you have a razor? Where did you get it from? Why do you think you need to shave your body hair? Like, you're 13, you don't need to do that. So I told her, I just said, oh, well, my sister's shaving. Why can't I? And I, of course, I wanted to do everything that my siblings were doing because they were both older than me. And so my mum explained, she's old enough now to make that decision. And when you're old enough, if you want to do that, then you can do that. So my mum took the razor away from me. So that's something that stuck with me. And I think about that now and I'm like, wow, why did I feel at 13 that that's what I had to do? That's the first story that I wanted to tell you guys about. The second story that I wanted to tell you guys about was actually when I was younger. So I was about 8 or 9, and I was walking along the beach with my mum at my local beach, and my mum ran into a friend of hers who was from France but had moved to Australia. I didn't know this friend, so I just met her then, and she was wearing a bikini. It was a summer day, and my mum and her were talking. We'll just wait for the wildlife to stop. They're right above my head. Okay. So my mum was talking to this lady, and she was European, and she was in a bikini, and I remember looking at her and seeing that she had underarm hair, dark and like very long, and I was so amazed. I couldn't stop staring. It was like one of those, things where you think you're being rude because you catch yourself staring. Anyway, she walked away, and me and my mum kept walking along the beach, and I said to my mum, why has that lady got so much hair under her arm? Doesn't she get rid of it? I think about myself now as an 8-year-old or a 9-year-old, however old I was, asking that question to my mum, like, wow, just without even knowing from what society has made us think. At 8 or 9 years old, I asked my mum why someone had body hair on their body. I just remember asking my mum that question and feeling within myself so uncertain of what was right and what was wrong. And yeah, it just baffles me now that was what I felt. The third and final story that I wanted to tell you guys about was when I was about 17 years old and I was seeing a guy who was a few years older than me. Now, I hadn't seen this guy in a few weeks. We met up one day. It'd been about 2 weeks, I think, since I'd seen him, and we were just hanging out on the couch, and I was wearing a dress, so my legs were visible. By this time, I was shaving my legs. Anyway, I hadn't shaved, and we were sitting on the couch, and after about an hour of hanging out, I can't remember how it got brought up. He said, guys really like women that are completely shaved. And he started telling me that guys like a girl to have silky, soft, smooth skin, and they didn't like any prickles. That's what guys liked. I just remember sitting there and taking it all in because I was way too scared and not confident enough to speak up and be like, who are you to obviously sit there and try and portray what you want me to do? That was pretty full on and something that has stuck in my head and really affected me back then as a teenager. They seem like small moments, but they were quite big moments in my life that obviously have affected me. Skip to 3 years later, about 3 or 4 years later, I am in the US. I'm traveling by myself and I'm hitchhiking across the country. This trip for me was super influential and super life-changing in so many different ways when I think about it now. It was when I really started to become me, when I really started to step into my power as a woman. I started to love myself, basically. I landed a woofing position in Arizona. Woofing stands for working on organic farms, and basically you go and in exchange for a bed to sleep in and some food, you help out on whatever your hosts who you're staying with, whatever they're doing within their property. I went and stayed on this one farm that was run by 2 amazing women. This farm was out literally in the middle of nowhere. They basically live completely off-grid. Like, I'm talking off-grid. I'm talking like they don't use toilet paper. They rip up old sheets and use the fabric as toilet paper, and then they wash that and then they reuse that. As you can imagine, the ladies at this farm, as well as a lot of the other woofers, a lot of the other volunteers that were working there at the time, they all had body hair. I stayed at this farm for 2 weeks, and during that time I really connected to myself and I connected to the people there. It just really made me see what I wanted in life and how I wanted to go about it and how I wanted to live. At this time, because I'd been hitchhiking for about a month, I'd already let all my hair grow kind of just naturally. I didn't take a shaver with me. That's the start of when I stopped shaving. I stopped waxing and I stopped worrying, and I felt amazing. It just felt like a completely natural process for me that of course I was going to eventually get to, because in the beginning what led me to shave and to wax was a society and a box that society puts you in, or put me in, as it does everyone, and me realizing that I didn't fit inside that box and I wanted to get out of that box and be who I wanted to be. I left that farm and I continued to not shave. It was a huge deal for me, especially when I would find a romantic partner, because I would feel like, are they going to accept me? Are they going to say something about my hairy legs? Like, what's going to happen here? How are they going to treat me? They all accepted me how I was, as I was, and that was a really pivotal moment when you start understanding that, the opposite sex, the people that you're attracted to, like, they're attracted to you no matter what, no matter if your legs are shaved, no matter if your eyebrows are waxed. It was a beautiful thing, I guess, a beautiful transition that I went through. So that's kind of what led me to where I am now. When I got back from traveling, I moved to a part of Australia that I had never been before, and that's where I met my partner, Zach. So when I met Zach, it was the first time that I didn't have a lot of like body image related worries within a new relationship. However, still at this point, I still had these insecurities somewhere within my mind, somewhere within myself, of like, I haven't shaved in months. Is he going to reject me? Is he not going to like that? Is that not his thing? I still, was unsure of myself and the decisions that I had made. I was just so happy that he hadn't said anything negative about my body hair. About a month or two after being together, he started talking to me one day about my body hair, and he was telling me how beautiful he thought it was that I didn't shave or wax. He was telling me how much he loved that I didn't get rid of the hair on my body and how much he appreciated that. And so that was super nice to talk to him about that and open up to him about that. I finally came to the conclusion that, like, okay, this is it. I feel so good with the hair that was given to me on my body. I feel so good not having to worry about waxing it or shaving it, or worry about what my partner's gonna think or what my friends are gonna think. Yeah, that's what has led me to where I am today within myself and within my body hair, I suppose. I will say, over the summer, I do wax my bikini line because that is what feels good for me. I also wanted to let you guys know that this is just my personal experience. And I wanted to share that with you guys. We just need to talk about it more. This is a subject, it's so simple, it's something that you, like, it's body hair. Like, we just need to talk about it more and know and let our children know that it's okay that we grow hair under our arms and our legs. Like, it's natural and it's normal and it's actually there for a reason. So yeah, that's basically it really. I really just wanted to share my experience with you guys, and I wanted to try out one of these types of vlogs where I'm kind of talking just to the camera. Let me know if you guys like these type of vlogs, and if you have any topics that you would like me to talk about one-on-one with the camera and with you guys, then leave me a comment in the description box below, and I would love to read that and see if it's something that I can cover in the future. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this vlog, and I will see you next time.